What's going on, guys? King Strats here, back with another video on the channel, and today we are at Little Caesars. The reason I went here was because I did a couple of streams, one on TikTok, one on Twitch. Actually, it was simultaneously, but someone asked me this question. They said, what are some of the most underrated chain restaurants? And the first thing that popped in my head was Little Caesars. So I did a best Little Caesars order a while ago. I actually updated it and took a little bit of a risk on this one, and we went back to Little Caesars again. I just feel like Little Caesars is super underrated. Some people have this stigma because it doesn't cost a lot or something, that it's not good, but Little Caesars is a banger if you order the right things, in my opinion. So drop a thumbs up if you want to see more of this. Coming up on the end of the year, I've just been kind of going back towards my favorite restaurants at the tail end, and this is no exception. I used to not like Little Caesars, then I switched my order up and I was like, yo, this stuff is actually kind of good. So first thing we're going to do is start with the pizza. The pizza, my favorite pizza at Little Caesars is the Detroit style, the hot and ready. Got the pepperoni, the nice little bake on the side. Always get a well done bake with extra sauce. The cheese is always enough, so you don't necessarily need the extra cheese, but any chain restaurant, for me personally, I always like to get extra sauce. I just think it works better. I feel like I never put enough sauce on these, and it kind of masks that. So that is always my first step when it comes to the Caesars joint. We got that, as well as my two favorite dips that I like. So we got the cheesy jalapeno as well as the buffalo ranch. Always been a fan of these, so we had to get those. And then something else that I really like from there, we have the pepperoni cheesy bread. Some people like to get the Italian cheesy bread. It's the exact same bread other than the fact that it has pepperoni on it. For me, pepperoni is always the W of all W's. So let me just take this out real quick. You're gonna just slide you out. Look at the slide game. Yes, sir. Sliding like we slide in your DMs. So it just looks like I have three Detroit style pizzas, but this is slightly different. Close enough. Different kind of cheese. And then people love these wings. And I had them once and I really hated them, but I want to come back to them and try them again. So I got a different flavor this time. Last time I got buffalo, but I got the Little Caesars wings. I know people say you got to run them through twice. I asked them to. I haven't looked in here yet, but I feel like since they've been sitting in this Tupperware, it probably won't necessarily matter. But I got garlic parm this time. I just feel like that's not going to bang, but we had to do it. We gonna try them, man. We gonna try them. Here they are. Look. That doesn't really... Look, I've been surprised by crazier stuff, so I'm not gonna go crazy. And of course, we got the Diet Coke. This entire order came out to about 20 bucks. I think it was like 21 and change. They charge $1 for the dips and stuff like that, plus the 2 liter, so came out to 22. These are about $7, I believe. This is about $5, I believe, and this is $8.99 for the Detroit style. $2.99, $1, and $1. Whatever that comes out to. I already know there's gonna be that one person in the comments that's gonna be like, actually, it came out to whatever number I just gave you, bro. Okay, so it's like 20 and change. Whatever it was, that's what it is. Little Caesars. I filled my cup up. I didn't. Gotta get those dips ready too. The dips are always important with the Little Caesars. But first, I gotta get my Wakanda cup. I actually have a Black Panther shirt on today, and I didn't even realize that I had a matching cup. Now, always when I go to the store, like Dollar General, whatever, they have these cups, usually like 75 cents a dollar. And if it's something that I'd like, I just pick them up. But I get most of these at Dollar General. You can find them in Walmart, Target, or whatever, but I would say 99% of mine are from Dollar General. I also have my Freddy cup. This one's from Party City, though. My Freddy cup is right here, too. I always wash my cups out and leave them here because I forget to bring cups when I have a drink. But let's get into this, man. I want to get my dips ready, too. The cheesy jalapeno. I like the jalapeno dip, as well as the buffalo ranch. This stuff is actually, like, really good. One of the best, most underrated things. Extra most bestest, as Little Caesars says it. But let's get into the Detroit style. You got that nice bake on the side. This is the best Detroit style in the chain restaurant game, notwithstanding Jet's Pizza, because I've never had it. They don't have it near me. First bite with no sauce. I meant dipping sauces. I don't know how people don't like this. You can do a lot worse for $8, man. $8.99? Whatever it is. Especially with the bake. They just do the bake right. Gotta get that well done, though. That's so good. I just feel like Little Caesars are so underrated. I had to give them some love. When you go in with the dips, I'm gonna start with the cheesy jalapeno right here. don't know why it just works. I can't really see much of a difference between that and like a jar of Tostitos. But it has to be, I tried it with Tostitos, it didn't work. So it has to be with the Caesars. Buffalo Ranch also. Super underrated. This is a dub, man. It's a dub. I'm double dipping. I just need to see something. Cheesy Buffalo Ranch. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I gotta get into these wings. Let's do it. Second time ever having the Little Caesars wings. Got the garlic parm this time. I just wanted to switch it up. I asked them to run it through it twice because the wings last time were super soggy. They put a ton of sauce on these, so maybe that's why. I'm never gonna get mad at somebody for using a ton of sauce, but that is a lot. Alright, let's do it. They're better this time for sure. Bet you did it twice. These aren't half bad. They're really not. The weird thing, I'm picking up like a peppery taste. More than a garlic parmesan. The sauce is rich. But if I would have had to guess this flavor without knowing what it was, I would have said Parmesan peppercorn more than a garlic parm. But I will be honest, for paying, these are kind of small though. Look how small this is in my hand. For paying the $7 that it costs, they're really not that bad. Last time I hated them. This time they're decent. I still would give the edge to Pizza Hut as far as these go. But these are super small though. I would even put Papa John's over this. So they're third. I never have a good time at Domino's. All in all, more than edible this time. More than edible. I'd give these like a 6.5. They're pretty good. Really salty though. Those are super salty. Last, the pepperoni cheesy bread. Similar to the Italian, but they do have that little bit of like, it's more prevalent on this one. So let me just grab this bad boy right here. See the seasoning on there? This costs $5. I think $5.99 might be. I don't think I asked for a well done. I mean, honestly, it's like getting a Detroit style, minus the sauce. It's the only difference. It does work. These for sure, or the regular cheesy bread, are the two you can't miss. I do prefer it over the crazy bread. There's more seasoning on this side. I should have grabbed from there. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Not an issue. As far as the pizza sides, so not the wings, but like breadsticks, garlic bread, things of that nature, garlic nuts. This is probably my second favorite of all of them. I prefer it over anything that Papa John's has as a side. And Pizza Hut. Not counting dessert. I like Domino's. The Parmesan bites. I feel like it's the best for value. But this would be second. You could just get one of these and be happy with it. Can I get in here? I have a weird topic I want to talk about today, so let me just get one bite and we'll get into it. I was talking to somebody earlier, and they made a statement. They said they heard somebody on a podcast or on the internet. They couldn't figure out who it was. But they were talking about Buffalo Ranch fire. the difference in respect from generation to generation. And they said something where I was like, I can see that. I never thought about it, but it's kind of true. So, here's what they said. Can you give me my pizza, please? Thank you. They said the older generations gave respect to everybody, and the younger generations lean more towards you have to earn their respect. And that's coming from a stranger category, not someone you know, but random person on the street, or in this case, person on the internet, whatever. And they said the more the generations go, the more they feel like they don't have to respect someone until they earn it. Whereas older people tend to say they give someone respect regardless, and then if they lose it, then they don't give it. What do you think about that? Because the more I thought about it, the more it's kind of true. I do feel like I'm respectful of people off rip. If I don't know you, I'm going to treat you with respect and common decency and not like say anything rude. But I'm quick to like snatch that back, if that makes sense. Whereas I think the generations before, they gave it a little more and you didn't lose it. They'd be like, oh, what did you say? Where me, I'm be respectful, but if I feel like you're being sideways, like real quick, I'm like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden it goes away. And I do think that even Gen Alpha, which is the generation after Gen Z, they're kids right now. They be telling off strangers, like, oh, whatever. Whereas people, millennials, they're definitely worse than kids like that. But I feel like there's a lot more now than there used to be. Because I did have some friends that just like to strangers would be doing some wild stuff. And I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? You know? And again, if you're a Gen Z person or a Gen Alpha person, I'm not saying that you individually don't have respect. I'm talking about overall. Some people, when you say something about a genre or a person or a group that they are a part of, they tend to just look at themselves and be like, well, I don't do that. That could be very well true. Like, personally, I've never been disrespectful to a stranger. My entire life. But if I do feel some sidewaysness, then yeah. My loss of respect will just turn into me just not even addressing you. Like, I'm not going to waste my energy on that. I'm not going to start it back and forth. I definitely did when I was younger, though. You know, like, I felt like, and I feel like there are people like this. They get this attitude, they're like, nah, you going to hear what I got to say. Whereas, like, for me, 99% of the time it's not even worth it. I tend to look at things differently now and say, is this really even worth my energy? Sometimes I'm human, and if I feel like someone's being like super, I'll say something. But most of the time, I try to say, if am I going to gain anything from opening my mouth? And that's just the way that I live. It's not about pride for me. It's not about any of that stuff. It's just about, sometimes it's not even worth wasting your breath on it. But I'm not here to tone police anybody. You do what you want to. But I notice in real life, as far as like not to the internet, I do notice the generational thing. Because Gen Z is not the worst. It's definitely Gen Alpha. But that also could be the fact that kids don't have a filter either. Kids don't care. They walk up to me like, yo, why did my mom say you're ugly? I'm like, whoa, hey, what happened, bro? Kids don't care. They don't care about nothing. Oh no, not the flat. That's not flat. These wings are super mini. But I did get them well done. Yeah, you got to do a flat method, right? Yeah. Now I got cartilage in my mouth. I'm not finding it. I'm sorry. Flats are ass. But I always respect the passion. If you feel different some type of way and you gotta feel like you gotta yell at me, hey, I'll respect it. It's just a saucy slice. That's a saucy slice. Look at that. I just tried to grab the crust and it's like, it ain't gonna happen. This is the best part to me. Ever since stuffed crust pizza became a thing in the 90s, I eat pizza backwards. The other thing that they said, and this was a different one. They said generationally people are getting less and less accountability. I partially agree with that one. I don't think it's generational. I think it has to do with the internet. You're not as isolated as you used to be, in my opinion. And there are certain types of people in the world that don't want to be accountable when they're wrong about anything. So what the internet has allowed is it allows like-minded people to band together. For example, you get an argument with your friend. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your friend, whatever. And everybody around you is like, nah, you're wrong, you're wrong. I feel like before the internet, especially the level that social media is today, you had to just take that on the chin. You couldn't really do anything. If you and your boys was out and everybody else in the group was like, nah, you wrong, bro, blah, 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 you couldn't say nothing. You'd just be sitting there like, nah, I ain't wrong, right? And you had to just take it. Whereas now, people will post an actual comment or the video on the internet and you'll find other people, somebody's gonna agree with you. And it's easier that way. People don't have to admit they're wrong. The amount of times I see these days that people will post a comment that is factually wrong. Not opinion-wise. Factually. You could post 2 + 2 is 19. And post it on someone's comment section or whatever. It's very rare, if that post has enough people looking at it, that somebody won't like it and agree with you. It's very easy these days. You know? I'll give you an example, and it's not even a big example, but I noticed it. I even had to pin a comment because I was like, maybe people don't really know. So, if you follow my like shorts version, so like the TikToks and the IG, whatever, I posted a giant, it's on YouTube too, it's on my shorts. I posted a giant Fruit Loop. Right? And in the video when I'm eating it, I wasn't sure what to expect. So I bite into the Fruit Loop and I say, damn, this is actually good. And so many people in the comment section were like, of course it's good, it's a Fruit Loop. And what they didn't realize is it is not in fact a Fruit Loop. It is a mock-up of a Fruit Loop. It's not made by Kellogg's, therefore it's not a Fruit Loop. It's someone else imitating a giant Fruit Loop, so they could have screwed up on that taste. Some people don't realize on Fruit Loops boxes, the word fruit is spelled F-R-O-O-T, not F-R-U-I-T, like fruit would be spelled, right? So someone else, another company, made like a mock-up box and made a giant Fruit Loop object that's not Kellogg's. So when I bit it, I was like, should I eat this thing? So I ate it. I'm like, this thing's actually pretty good. The texture was good, everything. And so many people were like, of course it's good, it's a Fruit Loop. And I'm like, no, it's not. Y'all never had nothing knockoff that didn't quite land? There's imitation Oreos that don't taste good. Imitation Reese's. And that's why I said it. But there were like people going, oh no, no, like agreeing. Even though I said here's why, you know. But that's kind of how it goes. So you can't really spend your time, and that's why I pin the comment and then I just leave it alone because I'm not going to keep writing to everybody. Like, I'm not trying to correct people. I'm just giving you like why I said that. But it's like a weird phenomenon where I see people in relationships where they're arguing with their girlfriend and they'll put the argument. You don't have to admit you're wrong. You're just going to listen to people that agree with you. You know? Some people used to do that in real life, but it was a lot harder. They would just stop hanging out with people that would call them out on stuff. And they would keep people around that only agree with them. It's just a weird world we gotta try to navigate now. Because the social landscape of stuff changes from year to year now. With social media, with the different platforms that come out, people's behaviors tend to adapt because of that. Alright, let's try a flat technique again. Let's do the cartilage technique. Can I just rip the cartilage off? This is way too much work. Is that a cartilage or no? Let's just do it. No, I still got one. See? I don't like that. But it's so much easier now to hide. Stop. To hide from like being true to yourself. I don't know how many of you do it, but I know it's very common, especially again, the younger the generations go. I mean, Kevin Durant got caught doing it. People make burner accounts to agree with themselves. And I know I've called out a few of you because I think it's funny. But to me, the utmost self-validation technique that people do on the internet with the burner account is liking your own comment. That's not why the like's there. But the amount of people I see that I know y'all do it. And I'm gonna tell you how. If I check my comment section and you commented 19 seconds ago and there's already a like there, you liked your own comment. That's how I know. If you go and do it, wait a little bit. This way it don't look obvious. But if you posted it says 9 seconds ago and there's a like there, ain't nobody that fast. I know people do it because I've also seen it too. They get caught. It's like being your own hype man. The equivalent of that in real life. I always found this one funny. That's like walking around and making a crazy statement, and then in the same breath, as you finish it, me being like, I'm the greatest ever. And then before I could even finish saying that, being like, yeah, I am the greatest. Like, it's just crazy to me. Look, if you can't admit this, tell the truth. You liking your own comment for self-validation. You want your comment to look valid, and it's easier. You just put a like there already, because someone agreed with you. It was you. But somebody did. And I also know that people put things in comment sections and then count their own likes. Because I've seen it on Twitter where they're like, this comment got 1,000 likes, I'm clearly right. They be trying to argue it. So, I'm going to say the same thing I always say. Listen, you don't have to admit to anything. It don't matter. I'm not calling out anybody as an individual. But 90% of us got our own mental problems. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying whether that be a confidence issue or a validation issue or you want to be validated by your peers, most people go through that. Even if it's not every day, even the most confident person can have their confidence shaken. But until you can learn to love yourself at all, it ain't gonna matter how many times you try to hype yourself up. It won't matter how many girls you try to talk to. It won't matter how many times that you like your own comments. It will never matter. It'll be like a temporary band-aid fix until you get to the root of the problem. And there's a lot of people out there that look for external validation to validate themselves. And it only works like a drug. You're going to need another hit and another hit. And eventually, that small hit is not going to be enough. You need a bigger hit and a bigger hit. So all of a sudden you know the hell you are anymore. And I've seen a lot of people go through that. And then when they get to my age, they get a little bit older, they start realizing that none of that stuff even mattered. And then you kind of go back and you're like, okay, I need to work on myself. That's why I'm always like preaching, especially to the younger generation, that you got to work on yourself early. Because you don't want to get to the point that, you know, you start getting older and now you realize that everything you were doing didn't really matter. And can't nobody ever tell you that but you. Nobody on the outside is going to be able to influence that decision besides you. You know? And until you're really happy, when you realize that, like, writing rude shit on people's walls or making burner accounts to agree with yourself or trying to talk to get a roster of women because it makes you feel like, okay, you must be doing something right. Until you get past all that, you'll always be doing it. And it'll happen so much that you'll lose yourself in it. You know? So, again, I'm not a perfect person. I've made plenty of mistakes. I've had issues like that in my past. Especially in my early college years. I used to try to talk to mad girls because it made me feel like I was like doing something. You know what I'm saying? So, I was doing it more for like other people's approval. So that like my teammates and stuff, like, oh yeah, you got him. Like, he's corny. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. So, sometimes you got to check yourself and be like, yo, it's not really the flex you think it is. But anyway, gotta give credit. I'm sorry, I smacked the hell out of that right there. This was the food was kind of good, man. Little Caesars, for $20 you could do a lot worse. I enjoyed it. But that's gonna be the end of the video. With Christmas rolling around, just like Thanksgiving, the last few days, including today, I've been on a little bit like of load management, as I call it, where I'm still going to put out content. The videos might not be as long in some cases, but because I got a Christmas shop, I got to do all this stuff. I'm only doing it myself. I'm still going to work and put the videos out and, you know, still going to do all these things, but obviously I still have to take care of my family, etc., etc. I still intend, I don't know if I'm going to stream on Christmas Day. There will be a video on Christmas Day. As anybody who watches like the streams and stuff like that, I don't know if I'm going to stream on Christmas Day. It's possible, but I don't want to promise you because on Thanksgiving I ran into stuff and I didn't stream. So I'll keep everybody posted. I always appreciate it. I hope everybody has fun. You don't watch anything or I don't see you, whatever, see you. And a happy holiday into the new year. Hopefully I'll see y'all in 2023 if you are busy and all that stuff, but you know the vibes, man. We'll be back tomorrow. More content. I love y'all. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.